Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. If you're familiar with history and you have a good memory, you can also observe a pattern of behavior of countries or armies during wars, and that pattern is they all lie, and during a war or military intervention somewhere, the good countries, the good people, conduct themselves in a perfect way. Nothing goes wrong. Everything is as the laws of war dictate. On the other hand, the bad people that we designate as bad people, as the good people designate the bad people, they commit every atrocity that there is. That's why they're bad people, and that's why we are the good people. That's how the story goes. But after some time, a few years, maybe decades, some courageous people come out and after conducting investigations, and they're allowed, or it's okay to come out and say, actually, remember Vietnam War? Yeah, well, we did this. Oh, really? Well, it's been 60, 45, whatever years. That's fine. 50 years. It's okay. All right. Well, we know we did this. Oh my, really? Huh? Okay. So you find out that certain things that the bad people that we designated, because we call ourselves good, and we have the right to call everybody else however we feel like, but they can't, because we are the good. So the good people, everything that the bad people did, or not everything, many things that the bad people did, or we say they did, we did as well. But we find out after years, after it's all dead. You can't change anything. But if you're familiar with these things, and I will mention, for instance, lying, the lie. I'm going to use the Vietnam War. It's the easy prey here. Sorry. The Gulf of Tonkin incident, that was not an incident, and the United States attacked Vietnam for that. If you're familiar with that, if you're not, just do a little bit of clicks. Or anyway, it's the Americans lied. The government claimed that the Vietnamese boats attacked some military ships, warships, Americans, on the coast of Vietnam. What the hell they were doing over there, I don't know, because the Vietnamese had some warships by California coast. That's why we had over there. That was a lie. We entered the war and we blew the shit out of it with napalm and everything that was, if you know what I mean. Then that's one thing. So lies occur big time, both sides. But we're the good people. We don't lie, we don't cheat, we don't do shit like that. Then we had military advisors. Remember military advisors? Military advisors, I think we had them even in Korea, if I remember correctly, which were just advising. And then we found out that the military advisors were actually directly involved in shooting and fighting. They were not advisors. So, and many other things that try to assassinate presidents or, overthrow governments. South America is a very rich example of that. And just look at Fidel Castro if you want assassination and invasion, Gulf of Pigs and all that. So now we go back, we come here to a current situation in Ukraine, where we, the good people, are the defenders of love and happiness, and the designated bad people are the Russians and everybody else who disagreed with what we order. And we say that we train the NATO, the good people, train the Ukrainians in various countries, in Canada, I don't know if you're in Canada, but I know they have trainers, Canadian military trainers come to Europe and train so many Ukrainian personnel, tens of thousands. Somehow they take them from the front, because the front is okay, and bring them in Europe, and we train them. United States train them in Germany on tanks, airplanes, jerking off. I mean, everything we train them in to do, because they're baboons. And we know, because we know, man. I mean, we're the best. We're the best. So here we go. We have this kind of mass of people, supposedly, of Ukrainians being trained in Europe. And then those guys will come back trained and will blow the Russians off with the new perfect weapons that only we have, not the garbage the stupid people, the baboons have. Okay, that's how the story goes. So I have a little bit of I'm skeptical that that's so. I am skeptical that they have the tens of thousands of military personnel, and I'm going to use about 7 articles here to prove everything I said. Articles coming from the good people, okay, so because they don't lie, so that's 100% true. Where these guys are trained, so these guys had to spare, I don't know, 20 or 20,000 or more, who knows how many, take them from the front, train them here, and then they will come back with all these weapons. Well, I have this kind of, based on history, I don't really think that there are too many Ukrainians going over there to be trained. It might be that these guys that are trained here are maybe the advisors and the trainers that actually train the Ukrainians that are brought from the front. And when the Ukrainians will go back, it's going to be these people going back with the tanks, airplanes, and all that. Because I don't think that the Americans will give Abram M1 tanks to the Ukrainians. I don't think they gave HIMARS to the Ukrainian personnel. I don't think they will give the Patriot systems to the Ukrainians. Why do I say that? United States, this is one of the arguments. United States has defense missile systems planted in Romania to defend Europe from, they say, Iran. They had it in Poland. Do you know who operates those systems? They're part of NATO. We're all in it. It's not the Romanians. They are on the territory of the weasels, but they are operated only by the United States Army. So do you think that the Patriot systems will be given to Ukrainians, so Ukrainians can just drive them over to the Russian front and get millionaires overnight? I don't think so. I have a little bit of gut feeling because of previous examples that are over there, including the fact that the Romanian army has no access to the defense of NATO. They're part of NATO, but hey, you stay outside. There's big dogs here. We just use your territory. When those guys attack, if we get hit, we're gonna take our shit and go across the ocean. You, on the other hand, will be flattened. Hey, nice try. We tried at least, right? Try, how's that, die while trying? The problem is going to be you dying, and we just tried. And we're going to leave another day to try again. And we're going to try with Poland, we're going to try with the Baltic states, we're going to try with Georgia, we're going to try with Romania, we're going to try with Bulgaria, and we're going to move on and try unless nobody else is to try with. And if we didn't succeed destroying the evil guys, we're going to negotiate with them. All right, let's move on and see these articles here. I have, as I said, this is a gut feeling, okay? It's based on history. Telegraph, Ukrainian soldiers training on German tanks say they've swapped Ladas for Mercedes. So they are training over there in Germany. And this is a German guy with this, because you don't have to know who this guy is. But I have a few questions. Look at the trees. You see the trees? I don't think that Germany has this kind of, how should I put it, seasons over there right now in February, where you have leaves in the tree. But hey, what do you want? Ask too many questions, Emil. Now, let's go move to the next one. This is from Ukrinform. It's from February 22nd, today, Wednesday. And here we find out that Netherlands to send 230 military instructors, beep, 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 beep. For me, that's a alarm, to train Ukrainian soldiers in Germany. Like what? How many? So we have find right here. See here? Representatives, let's go to the beginning. So this year they will contribute to the training of a total of 30,000 Ukrainian soldiers. Do you believe that? That the Ukrainians had the luxury to send 30,000 Ukrainian soldiers to Germany or wherever, Poland and so on, to be trained to come back with the tanks, because they're baboons. They don't know how to shoot a, they don't know tactics. They've never been in a war because, Netherlands was in so many wars, oh my god, and victorious for the same reason. So they're teaching. What the fuck are you teaching? Anyway, let's move on. Outside the Bay. This is another article I picked just for the information here. This is from April 14th, 2022. NATO has been training Ukrainian forces for years. Why is that? Because of this bad dude right here? Yes. And then you have a Canadian flag right here. You have the Ukraine over there. and you get a Kalashnikov all the way. So why were they training them? Since they had a plan in place with the Minsk Agreements 1 and 2. And then when you say that this bad dude right here on the corner, right? When this guy was saying NATO is preparing to invade and attack us, or at least bring their infrastructure in Ukraine, and we feel threatened by that, like we are feeling threatened by the missiles that you placed in Romania and Poland, this guy said, no, you don't even know what you're talking about, go and play at a different table, right? Right. Oh, let's move on here. Washington Examiner, February 22nd, 2023, US and NATO credit 8 years of Western training of Ukrainian combat prowess. Why is that? Again, why is that? Oh, because they knew the Russians would attack. Okay, that's how we are supposed to understand what they say. We completed the third 150 million that President Biden, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's a lot of money, a lot of training. And then let's finally get to the last one, Newsweek, February 22nd, 2023, and it's something down here where it says this. Some 10,000 Ukrainian troops have been already cycled through UK training camps since last summer, with the British government announcing earlier this month that another 20,000, including sailors and pilots, would be trained this year. All right, there's nothing wrong with that. I refuse to be a retard. Is it okay with you if I refuse to be one? Even I might look like one, I might sound like one, but I refuse, you know. At least I'm a semi-conscious retard. But anyway, all that will tell me that when you're going to have the volunteers coming, there will be volunteers coming, speaking Deutsch and other, and they look a little bit different, let's put it this way. But hey, they will have the patch right here with the Ukrainian flag. They will have all the paperwork right here when the Russians are going to get their, look, okay, oh, this is a volunteer. This is Hans Müller. Yeah, I'm volunteer. Yeah. Please. Okay, oh, who's this? This is Francois Macron. That's another volunteer. Okay, oh, I got it. And this is who? No, this is Emil Kosman coming from Romania. He's a volunteer, okay? Yes. And we are like, so many volunteers, you know, because people defend freedom and love and fight for what's right. Well, you can ingest that bullshit if you want. I have questions, and I hope you have questions as well. Why? Because of the Gulf of Tonkin, one example. Remember, there's many Gulfs of Tonkin that happen. Remember the weapons of mass destruction, another one if you want. Remember many things like this, and then when these guys are telling you something, you know they're lying. You know why? Because their mouth is open. If their mouth is moving, they're lying. Verify. And all those articles are written not taken from Russia Today or whatever bad dudes, the designated bad dudes. No, from the good countries. So they tell me here that about, they already did 30,000, they said, and then 10,000 and then another 20,000. When you are barely surviving on the front and you cry that the Russians are overwhelming you, you have about 50,000, 40,000 people to spare to go and get trained, because those guys were using AK for, do you see it? They were using Kalashnikov, and it was the Canadian experience, because Canada fought so many wars. They were, according to them, they did. And if you speak with some Canadians, they actually won the Second World War for us. They all won the Second World War for us. The Americans did it, the Canadians did it, the British did it, everybody, but the bad dudes. No, Russia is no. We gave them the land lease. Without that, they would have been still plowing the fields and eating nothing. Baboons, Asiatic people, like Harry Truman called them. When he found out that those guys have atomic weapons, he was like shocked. And he said, I can't believe those Asiatic people can have such a thing. That's what he said. Well, you can check that out if you don't believe me. So anyway, if you remember now, the Ukrainians, they will have these volunteers coming to Ukraine with thousands, tens of thousands. And they will say, hey, those are the ones that we told you that we trained. Yeah, those are they. Those are no, they're not Fritz, they're not Hans, there's not Jean, or no, or Emil. No, that's gonna be all Vladimir, Yernikov, Zernikov, and all that, Marachuk and Kolochuk. Okay, all right. So remember, now the Ukrainians set up this, they call it offensive something group or something, volunteers. They already had a general mobilization, so I don't know how many people are over there. But anyway, they said they volunteered already about 30,000 of them volunteered. I suspect that these guys, these volunteers actually will be those volunteers, if you know what I mean, and they will those volunteers will be these volunteers. It's just and why do I say that? Because you've seen all kind of lies and military instructors, advisors in Georgia, not Georgia on my mind, Ray Charles' song. No. Georgia, the country of Georgia. Saakashvili, remember that one? Saakashvili eating his thigh when he heard that the Russians are coming. Help us. That was the first one. It was unsuccessful Ukraine. That was another Ukraine, but it was too early. And it was too hard to defend that Ukraine that time. But this one was easy because it was the West right there. It was calculated. Why do you think it was just a coincidence? Please. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. And I think I have the right not to believe that because I look at the evidence. And I need about 3 more hours to tell you all the evidence I have. But hey, maybe one day or little by little, I will expose my craziness, right? Yes. So anyway, this is it, my friends. Expect those volunteers to hear about those volunteers, those big Ukrainian volunteers returning and being, I don't know, like 80,000 of them or maybe more. I'm expecting that maybe in about 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, when the tanks are coming, the airplanes are coming, and they're going to be all Ukrainian pilots and tank personnel and the crews. And yeah, all right. And if you believe me, or if you believe these guys, as I always tell you, give me about $30,000 today, and I will give it to you back tomorrow with an interest of 3,000. So the interest will be 3,000. You give me 30,000 today, I will give it tomorrow. To back, I will meet you. Promise. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Don't live your life like that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.